what's up guys, Warner Bro here, just outside enjoying the weather. I got a comment recently from a guy, seems like a nice kid. He's having some struggles right now. He's dealing with a lot of OCD thoughts. These thoughts that are all in your head, that keep popping back up again and again, they can be disturbing. They can make you question your own sanity, like why would I think of these things? Deep down inside, you know they're bullshit, but at the same time they seem so real. Basically, he's been struggling with this a lot lately, and that's pretty common for people who struggle with anxiety, especially depression. They get these thoughts, they come in, they won't leave them alone. And by the way, that's called something other than OCD. It's called OCD/Puro. Puro are thoughts that are entirely in your head that you don't actually take any action on. Now, I don't know if you're performing any ritual type deals to kind of soothe your OCD thoughts. I'm not sure. Either way, it doesn't matter. The way out is the same for both. Just to kind of ease your mind right off the bat, I want to say that these thoughts can be completely normal and are completely normal when dealing with higher episodes of intense anxiety. And sometimes they come strictly by themselves. Sometimes the thought themselves cause the anxiety. Now, if you've watched my recent videos, especially update on my recovery, you'll know, I didn't go into much detail, but you'll know that I recently come out of an episode of higher anxiety that for the most part was completely miserable. Accompanying this episode of anxiety was a lot of pure OCD thinking. It was one of the bigger things with this episode that really bogged me down. So I know a thing or two about what you're going through right now. Alright, so what can you do about it? It's fucking miserable, you don't like it, and it's really slowing you down day to day, and it's making life harder, especially. It's making life a bitch. And your OCD, you commented it on one of my videos, so I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't think you mind. One of your big OCD thoughts, or Puro thoughts, was that all the food you eat, and I believe this is right, it may not be, all the food you eat you think somehow may be poisonous, and it's going to harm you, kill you, hurt you, whatever. That's classic, okay? So you can calm down a little bit knowing that that's classic. I've heard that one before, never dealt with it myself, maybe in small ways, but that's classic. That's pure OCD thinking right there. There's nothing abnormal about that thought. Just to give you a few examples of very bizarre, disturbing, and weird OCD Puro thoughts, just so you can know that these things are normal. Nobody ever actually acts on these things, and a lot of people worry about them and they believe they may be true, but it never happens. It's all OCD. I've known people who were afraid that they were going to toss their babies out of windows, their own children out of windows. They would be afraid to walk by windows because they would be afraid that they would actually open the window and toss their baby out of the fucking window. It seems humorous. It seems like some sick, twisted humor. But there was people, and there is people, who actually are afraid to go by windows because of that very reason. There's hundreds, probably thousands of pure OCD thoughts that people never act on because they're all driven by what's up here. And all it is at the end of the day, all it is a disturbing thought, a weird, odd, strange thought, and a very tired, broken down mind. And because your mind is tired and broken down, it tends to believe that these thoughts may have some truth behind them because your rational side is not there. Your rational side is tired, it is gone, and no longer exists. You'll never do these things. You're still plenty rational, but you aren't rational with your thoughts anymore until your brain has the chance to rest. So that's why these thoughts seem so real. If you think back in time, you probably at one point in time or another never thought these things. And the thought of these things would probably make you laugh. So first of all, if you're having any OCD, pure O thoughts other than this poison food thing, ignore them. Well, don't ignore them. I'll get to exactly what you're supposed to do here in a minute. But what I mean is, if you're having any type of OCD thought other than this poison food thing, keep in mind that they're completely normal and you'll never act on them, okay? There's hundreds of examples of pure OCD thoughts that get on people's nerves and freak people out because they think these things are true, but they never actually act on them. OCD has the potential to really bog you down, and it did me. Kitty cat came to visit us. Come on over. Other than the tossing your baby out the window thing, there's hundreds. Okay, some that I dealt with, I thought I was gonna go crazy. I kept having thoughts of like mental wards and asylums and fucking straitjackets and screaming, and you know, I thought I was gonna be that person. But we suffer from anxiety and depression and OCD. We suffer from things that are totally curable with or without medication. That's a whole nother story. We do not suffer from some type of psychotic breakdown. Anxiety does not lead to some type of mental explosion and loss of your mind. You know, it's bullshit. It might make you think that way, but we suffer from something that's totally curable and doesn't mean we're crazy whatsoever. So, but I knew that deep down, but I still had these thoughts and they still bothered me. And that's just another example of a pure OCD thought. And it's the same thing you're dealing with the poisonous food thing, okay? So now that you've kind of got a better understanding of it, you kind of understand why, and you kind of understand that these things are completely normal. They come along with anxiety, or they create the anxiety, whatever. It's just a disturbing thought in a tired mind. Now you're probably wondering, how do you get out of this way of thinking? How do you start to break this chain of bullshit? Well, I know exactly how to do that. Now, first thing I want to say, if you're having these thoughts, don't try to avoid them, don't try to ignore them, don't try to think of something else. When they pop up in your mind, do not say, I need to think of something else, I need to do something, I need to forget about this. Don't do that, you're empowering it. It's the same thing that I said with anxiety and panic attacks itself. Anytime you try to avoid doing things, anytime you try to avoid feelings of anxiety, you're empowering it, because you're proving to yourself that, hey, I need to do something, I need to distract myself because these things are dangerous. They are dangerous, I need to get away from them. What are you telling yourself every time you try to avoid? You're telling yourself, hey, these things are fucking dangerous. These thoughts, this OCD, it's dangerous. It could be true. I don't need to think about it. I need to stop thinking about it. You're telling yourself every time you do that, every time you try to think of something else or ignore it or distract yourself, that these things are dangerous. Not only that, but you cannot forget something trying to forget it. That is the hardest thing in the world to do, and it's not possible. So don't try to forget it. What I want you to do, anytime that you have one of these thoughts, anytime you're about to eat and you think this could be poisonous, it could kill me, don't try to forget about it. Don't try to think of something else. Don't feel ashamed. Don't try to run away from it. Just let it be there. Let it be there in your head. And I know it's scary. I know it's fucking scary, because part of you wants to think that this OCD pure thought is true. So I know it's scary. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus and say, hey, you know, this is simple. It may not be simple, but you can do it. Next time you go to eat and you have these thoughts, don't try to run away from them. Eat your fucking food. Just eat it and let the thoughts be there the best you can. If they cause you extreme anxiety, let them cause you extreme anxiety. It takes a little bit of courage, but you have to embrace these feelings of pure OCD and these pure OCD thoughts. It's the only way through them. Because you're proving to yourself by doing that these thoughts are meaningless. Every time I would have the thought of going crazy or something, I would let it be there. I would not try to distract myself. I would not try to do something else. I would not try to run away from it. I would let it be there. Okay? Just let it be there. It's causing me a lot of anxiety right now. Just let it be there. And just keep going. Keep going with it. Okay? And it was very hard to do, because it's easy to want to distract yourself, think of something else, try to get some temporary relief. Okay? It's easy to want to do that because that's the easy way out. But if you want lasting results that take this shit away for good, you need to be with it. You need to sit with it. The only way through fear is to go right through it. Okay? You can't go around it. Can't go around it, because you're just empowering it. You're just empowering it. Okay? So you need to be with it. You need to sit with it. You need to try to not run away from it. Try not to gain any type of temporary relief. I noticed that you also said you struggle with agoraphobia. I do as well. I've got a video on that if you want to check that out. I want to do more videos on that in the future, because I didn't go into a whole lot with that, but I went into enough for you to kind of get the idea of where I'm coming from as far as how I think the best way to recovery is, and this is coming from years of experience. Anyway, pure OCD thoughts, just to wrap this all up, to make it very simple. That's the whole point of my videos. I like to be simple and straightforward. Pure OCD thoughts. You think you're going to throw your baby out a window, for example? grab your baby and go stand by the window. You're thinking, oh shit, are you crazy? What if I actually throw my baby out the window? Then you're responsible for this. I'm blaming you. It's not gonna happen. We don't act on these things, okay? We do not act on these things. So grab your baby and go stand by the window. You won't throw it out, I promise. It's just pure OCD thoughts that are picking you apart, and you gotta go through them if you want some relief. Okay, it's called exposure. Exposure therapy, I'm sure you've all heard of it. As far as the food thing goes, for you, my man, what I want you to do is I want you to eat. I want you to eat as much as you fucking want to eat. Anytime you're hungry, eat. I'm sure you're avoiding eating because of this. Maybe not all the time, because obviously we got to eat at some point. But I'm sure every now and then you may skip a meal because of this. Okay? I want you to eat as much as you can. If you're full, I want you to eat some more. I want you to live through this pure OCD as best you can. Face it, and don't run from it. Don't try to gain temporary relief. Don't try to distract yourself. I want you to expose yourself to this. Okay, the only way through fear is to go right through it. I'm telling you. And that really comes back to anxiety in general. Any type of anxiety, whether it be pure OCD thoughts, whether it be anxiety, whether it be depression. The only way through all this crap that is making us feel so, fucking sick all the time is to face it. Agoraphobia, everything. Okay, I'll go into more detail about the, all this different stuff at some point, and I already have on the agoraphobia a little bit if you want to check that out. Like I said, I noticed you said you were suffering with that too. But what I'm trying to, my main point is that everything that's anxiety related, including your pure OCD thoughts, you only mentioned one, you may have others. The whole concept is that we are avoiding, and we have made this beast stronger by doing so. Whether it be OCD, anxiety, depression, we have made these things stronger. We have empowered them. We have gave them the fuel that they need. And we have tricked ourselves into believing that they are truly harmful, dangerous, and that there is some type of truth behind these pure OCD thoughts. There is some type of truth behind I may go crazy, or this anxiety and panic attack is dangerous, or it may kill me, blah, blah, blah. We have gave it the power that it needs to survive and thrive in our life. So what do I want you to do? I want you to dig down deep. Find that inner strength, pull it the fuck out of you. I want you to eat as much as you can. I want you to take your anxiety and your thoughts and everything that's going on in your fucking head, and I want you to embrace it, and I want you to be the warrior that I know you are. That's the only way through this thing. You can't go around it. You can only go around it for so long, but you're just giving it more fire. You're just, you're fueling the fire. So pure OCD thoughts, completely normal. It is a disturbing thought in a tired mind, and the way out, simple. Go through it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you out. Be strong, because I know you can. Okay? We're going to do this. We're going to do it together. Alright, so go right through this thing. Anyone else who has any questions, comments, you can do what this guy did. Leave them in the box below. I will try to help you to the best of my ability. I have a lot of experience dealing with this shit. Anyway, until next time, check out my other videos. Like, subscribe, share this. Share this. It really helps me out. Subscribe really helps me out. Liking this video really helps me out. It all does. I'm surprised the channel is growing as quickly as it is. Thank you to each and every one of you. Alright guys, you know what to do. Until next time, stay awesome.